Welcome to Lightroom In Focus. Today we will do some basic landscape editing. If you start with a screen like this, you can press Shift and Tab to take all the working spaces away, and then you can take up the one you like to use, like this. We will change this, make this image, and we will make this image. We start with resetting them to the original. Bam. We start here. First, we use the cropping tool, and the horizon is pretty straight. You can use the auto setting. Press auto, and Lightroom will correct it. If you ain't happy with that, just press the slider and scroll the wheel if you want to do micro adjustments. There, I think it's good. Then the aspect. When we crop, we have different alternatives. If you want it for us 16:9, a usual widescreen, you can press that. If you want it custom, we can unclick the lock, and then the proportions between the width and the height are loose. I like the third rule. We'll put the horizon at the third. I want it to have the bottom there, and I want something like that. That's good. I'm happy. We press the crop tool again. Now the changes are applied. We won't use these tools this time. I go into the basic. The first thing I look at is the temperature, but these kind of landscapes can have a cool temperature or warm, so I save that for later. The overall exposure is a bit dark, I guess. I put up just a little bit. You can look at the histogram. You see there are much at the dark side. The contrast, I leave that. And the highlights in landscapes, you many times can put them down to -100, because -100 in Lightroom ain't that much that you will destroy the pixels and get artifacts. The same thing is valid to the shadows. Put them up to 100. If you're seeing the shadows getting bad and artifacts and things like that, then you pull them down a bit, but it's okay. After this, we set the black and the white point. You always want a point that's white and black. Almost always. There are always times when the rules are meant to be bent. The black, I put down so I see a bit of black to give it charisma. And the white point, I just want an ounce of it. Something like that. See here, we got the whitest part. I'm pretty happy. I go down to clarity. You can see clarity is the contrast in the midtones. Put it up a bit. Yeah, I want clarity in this one. Vibrance, the midtones. Something like that. The saturation. Some landscapes you can put it up fairly much, some not. If you put it up really much, you will see the sky look like, I don't know, it's pretty good, yes, but I don't like that much. Something like that. And now I put on a bit contrast. You see, it's really cool here. It's the saturation is putting on a bit of cool, so you can change the temperature if you want it warmer, something like that. Yes, I like that. Maybe a bit more exposure too. Something. That's good. Now we are finished in the basic. Then we go down to details. This you always have to do. press somewhere in the darks place, dark and contrasty place, like here. And then we sharp it until we're getting some noise introduction. Like 55 is okay. Somewhere around 70. You see now the noise are coming. Maybe back it off a bit. 65, 60. Yes, that's better. And noise reduction, I usually reduce until the noise almost disappears. But I usually don't go past 30 if it's nothing extreme. And you can say the sharpening and the noise reduction together shouldn't be above 100. Then we zoom out by clicking on the image. Now we don't want to sharpen the sky and everything, so we mask it away by holding down the Alt key and move the masking slider, and then we see it black and white. Everything that's white will be sharpened. You have to try these. It's a bit trial and errors. A bit more, maybe there. That's good. Around 20 to 30 usually is a good number to go. And now I'm satisfied. Oh, here you can see lens flare. Yes, you can deal with this in Photoshop if you want, but that ain't good. Next photo is this one. We do the same thing here. We start at the cropping tool. I almost said börjar. It's a Swedish word for start. And then I want it unlocked. And then we 1/3 at horizon. It's good. And then the angle make it straight, like that. Put it down a bit, yes, like that. And it's nice to have the stone at one of these crosses, because if you composite by the third rule, or the rule of thirds, it usually looks good. Now we are happy. We close the crop and go into basics. We start with temperature, usually, but in landscapes I sometimes tend to do that later on. But if you're photographing a wedding or something like that, then the temperature should be right, spot on, and then you know it from the beginning. Here you don't know what looks the best. Exposure, yes, it's pretty good. So we go down to whites and blacks. But first we do the same, lowering the highlights and bump up the shadows. Maybe too much for this stone, because it's a pretty flat image shot on at the golden hour. And then we take the whites and bump them up until you get one spot somewhere there up in the sky, like that. And the blacks take it down until a little bit more than one spot, actually, something like that. No, the computer is working hard today. Yes, I like that. And clarity, let's put it up. Something like 20, maybe. Vibrance, just 22, because this picture really needs some clarity. And saturation. Is this good? Yeah, I do like it. Temperature, I guess I want to warm it up a bit, because the sand should be golden. Later on, in the next video, we will talk about the brush. And here we really could use the brush to give the stone a bit more crisp. I guess we work on this picture in the next video too. But now we are satisfied here in the basic. We go down to the details. We do the same. Zoom in by pressing the mouse. And then we sharp it. You can see up here. Now we are introducing some noise. So we have to pull it down a bit until 52. Yes. And then noise reduction. Something like 20. I think that's good. We zoom out. and we mask. I guess it will be somewhere around 20-30 this time too. Yeah, that's good. 27. And now we're happy. I forgot one step of the last picture, and that's lens correction. You should more or less always do them. Anyway, when you have a horizon, it's good to do profile correction. And sometimes it will straighten out the horizon. Remove chromatic aberration, yes, why not? I didn't see any here. And then we go back to this picture and do the same lens correction. Profile correction. Guess you will see the horizon. Maybe not. Yes, chromatic aberration. Like that. And this was all for this time. Next time we will talk about the brush and how you can brush in some details and do them punchier. Thank you. Bye.